process to wind down operator Comair has begun in earnest. The High Court in Johannesburg granted an application to provisionally liquidate the carrier, which operates British Airways and Kulula.com. Kopanogumbi has the story.
It is the end of an era for airline operator Comair. The liquidation process began on Tuesday after the courts granted the business rescue practitioners an order to proceed.
Lord, with respect, there is a proper case made out, and we submit with respect there's no option but to move for a conversion of the business rescue to a provisional winding up.
Comair has been operating for over 70 years and had been profitable for decades until the pandemic. Travel restrictions, rising fuel costs and changing competition all eroded the company's bottom line. Despite its best efforts to raise 500 million to keep it in the skies, investors were unwilling to put in any more money, and the business is now being wound up.
All right. Then in matter, I think it was
17.
17, the matter of Ferguson and Comair make an order in terms of the draft. Mark X.
As your lordship.
Mr. Subel, it's a sad state of affairs that a company that's older than I am reaches this point.
Once a liquidator has been appointed, they will begin to sell off as much of the 3.5 billion rand in assets the company has, in order to repay its debts. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I am Kopanogumbi in Johannesburg.
We're joined now by aviation analyst Phuthego Mojapele on this story. Phuthego, it's absolutely devastating. A company that has been in existence for 70 years, and in that time has built what has been a very reputable brand, for all of it to come to this.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that we find ourselves to be where we are today, because some of the decisions that were taken were not in line with the reality of the situation, particularly at this time when we have a situation in between the COVID as well as the fuel price. And I think it is sad indeed for those that have relationship with this brand for many years. So yeah, it is what it is.
What happens now that the court has granted this liquidation application?
So what's going to happen is going to be a process of evaluating the value of the company. At this stage, they do indicated that they've got an aircraft value of about 3.5 billion. That is not only that what is going to be considered in this matter. I think they are going to also look at other things like the routes, the slots, and many other things like your AOC. They've got AOC that also covers quite extensive amount of footprint. So they are going to take that into consideration, evaluate that, and see how much they can come up with. And that will then go towards all the creditors, including those that have bought the tickets and the leases, if they have leased any aircraft, and that they will be getting paid out of that. As far as employees are concerned, the pension fund, it's a separate arrangement, and I think they will get their pensions out of that arrangement. That is completely out of the setup of the liquidation.
Of course, you know, given the fact that our aviation sector is so small in this country, it's going to have a significant impact. I mean, just on the day of the announcement that its flights were grounded, we already had the likes of the Competition Commission stepping in to make sure there isn't any price gauging or fixing by some of the other operators.
Yeah, it's going to create quite a lot of a vacuum in the space. I mean, we're talking about 40% of market share. Now, you can imagine that 40% if the likes of FlySaf, Airlink, SAA, and Sun Air, they are going to be, controlling that amount of passengers. But what one needs to clarify on the matters of the tickets is that the tickets goes through serious processes. So you will have 3 categories of tickets. Now, the ones that are cheaper, usually they sell much faster. And airlines will not make more or will not create a lot of those that will be available on the market. So they will keep the expensive ones, and that would create a panic on the market to say the tickets are very expensive. But one needs to really say the Competition Commission did the right thing to go and knock in their doors and say, you guys must not do what you have done during the March grounding of Comair, because it looks like they took advantage of the situation at that time. So they're a little bit wary of that, but you are going to see the increase. It is going to be there, but they will be always looking behind their backs, because Competition Commission has indicated that should they take that advantage, they will seriously deal with them.
One wonders about those that will be looking to this moment and thinking about the opportunity that will likely be created by the absence of Comair.
So we will see, we are going to see more and more companies, especially in LCC market, low-cost carriers in a form of Kulula coming up. We'll see people trying to start up those kind of operations. But it's going to be very difficult, Kathy. I must say, it's going to be very difficult. In South Africa, we've got a history of low-cost airlines not succeeding in doing business. And Comair is not new in this. We have a lot of them that have actually went down. And those that are going to try and start this, they need to come up with a fresh approach as to what is it that we want to achieve? Because the market is there, but as to how you run the business, it is what determines your success in this whole thing. And also one needs to also point out that Mango Airline they have managed to win the court case. The BRP have managed to win the court case, and they will be restarting the operation very soon after they have done all their due diligence as far as the rescue plan that they have proposed before the DPE.
Do you think everything possible was done to try and save Comair?
Look, initially I'm on record. When Ronel Standard took the decision to put Comair under business rescue, it was a good move, and I am on record congratulating them. And you would remember that Comair has always been the leader on the market, and they've done things right for the longest time. They have always been upfront. But subsequent to that, there was a change of management at Comair. There was change of ownership at Comair, and delisting of Comair from stock exchange. And after that, they left the company in the hands of the BRP, as well as this CEO who has other airlines in his hands. I mean, this guy has 2 airlines that fall from the sky. And you take him to come and rescue a company that has so much history and that has done so well. I think they got it wrong there, and because there was nobody who was looking after Comair and whatever that they were doing in terms of trying to rescue the company. So they left it to collapse deliberately. There was no efforts that they tried. I'm sure many people would love to invest their money in that company, but the manner in which they approach things, I think it was a little bit not in touch with the reality of the market at that particular time.
Well, one's heart has to go out to all of those families that are going to be affected by the job losses here.
Yeah, certainly my heart goes to 1,200 aviators that are there. I mean, you know, we have a lot of other airlines that went down in South Africa, and, you know, the situation is bad in our industry at the moment, and we can only hope that things will improve as the time goes on.
All right. Phuthego Mojapele, who is a pilot and aviation analyst. Thanks for your time tonight, Phuthego.
Thank you.